around the environment with a feral expression on his face.
Fane keeps looking. After all, he likes to look at him.
He reaches his arms overhead, stretching his lean frame. Not for the first time, you wonder how anyone's expected to concentrate on what they're doing with this man hanging around, exuding raw energy. He catches you looking at him and smiles, all tangled beard and twinkling eyes.
Hell, anything could happen now. Time is short. Laugh while you can. So Fane decides to leap on him.
Surprised at first, he quickly responds to your touch, pulling you close and holding your face in his scarred hands.
Fane, you really brought some mess into my life. And I've loved it. And you.
Aww.
Ifan holds you so close that you feel you are part of him. He kisses your eyelids, your temples, your nose. He kisses you tenderly, exploring you with his tongue. Before he pulls away, he squeezes tighter, lifting you from the ground so you feel weightless.
Damn, the end of Divinity can't come soon enough for me. I'm ready to live a human life.
No. Yeah. Ifan is really awesome, really cute. Alright. Seems like now comes the real deal, cause the game responds with an autosave. So...
The truth hangs heavy upon the air itself, unspoken. This is the point of no return. Somewhere beyond this point, you shall be undone, or you shall ascend. There is no middle ground.
I'm ready for this. And saying that, Fane steps into his destiny. Ah, this feels so much like the finale. White Magisters.
You come here often.
Oh.
I don't know what you did, but you just released a source blood. I thought I'd come and see what all the fuss was about. Should have known you were getting yourself into trouble. Looks like the big moment has finally arrived. I will do everything I can to support you, Godwoken. I will pray for you. I think you'll need it.
That situation has to be really desperate if Melody is going to pray. I mean, I've seen you perform quite incredible feats of magic. Surely you can pull off some ground wizardry now, right?
You'd think, right? But no. This is your moment. Still, do not underestimate my presence. This is a place of incredible power where a single prayer holds the weight of thousands. So, I will pray for you. Your heart and soul will fill as quickly as they're drained.
I wonder what it does, if it's like regeneration?
Consider it a taste of your divine future. The people will pray for you. In turn, they'll trust you to do right by them, as I'm trusting you to do now.
I don't think she will be happy that we're going to share divinity.
Of course, it's up to you whether or not to listen. I know how I'd respond, but you do you.
Melody wearily chuckles to herself, then bows her head in a show of unexpected but sincere reverence.
Looks like my investment's paid off after all.
I need worship only one divine, and I believe he stands before me now.
You've shown me kindness in the face of my sins. My worship is the least I can offer.
Now go. Rivellon needs a new divine.
Revet. You feel the power of your allies praying to you. Their devotion is providing you with infinite source. That's quite the nice boon. Ah. That can't be. I was right. Lucian is still alive and looks still divine. And I'm wondering if they're confronting him. And I could go on and on what I speculate could happen. but let's just go there. Maybe conjure our trusty wolf. God, that never hurts. And be rested for the fight.
Fane, Godwoken. Dallis told me about you. You must be as hard as diamonds, and twice as bright, to have come so far. Your Divine welcomes you.
Uh-huh.
The Divine you thought dead lords over the chamber from a granite throne. He moves to speak, but it's Riedeman's voice that next pierces the air.
What a twist.
Lucian frowns at Riedemann, then bestows a benevolent smile upon you. All that you know of him flashes across the panorama of your mind.
Lucian, you lying snake! You betrayed me! You used me to bring death to my own people! And for what? To make the world a better place? Look around!
Ifan, my friend. There were many sacrifices that had to be made. You were but one. Each of them pained me, but I would make them all again.
Always nice, those powerful beings, like, yeah, it had to be done.
Lucian, we should tell him the truth.
Yes, I agree.
It's like they are on
It
the
is
same
time
side.
we dropped our masks.
Dallis nods, then reaches for the sides of her head. Where there was one face, suddenly there are four. She takes off the mask of the shapeshifter.
So she's an Eternal too?
A skull is revealed, bejeweled and ancient as the void.
She is. Dallis the Eternal.
I am eternal.
Aren't they just full of surprises?
Now, so far I can't reveal his... or, well, reveal that I know who he is. Well, this actually clarifies very, very little. Explain yourself.
Fear not, Godwoken. Dallis is on the side of all that is good. She is helping me rid Rivellon of the influence of the
Doubt.
Source. Listen to her.
I shall tell you the tale as I told it to Lucian. Long ago, the scholar Fane discovered that the veil between the world and the void was made of source. Our 7 lords desired this power.
Of course.
Silence, slave. Our king forbade the 7 to reach for this power, but they didn't listen. Instead, they rebelled and sent the king and his people into the void.
I wonder if those white magisters are eternal too, or if they are just listening to that.
With the Source they stole from the Veil, the 7 created the races so they would have worshippers.
Why exactly would the 7 lords need worshippers in the first place?
During their lives, worshippers collect source. When they die, the gods feed from them. It's an ingenious system.
Our souls are nothing but vats for the Source-hungry gods.
The 7 made a mistake. By taking its source, they tore a hole in the veil, and it is through this hole that the void finds its way into our world.
The 7's lust for power let in the void. Our goal is to close the hole they created, to restore the Source to the Veil. When we are done, there shall be no more Source in the world. Rivellon will be finally free from the gods that enslaved them.
So they want just to purge the world of the Source. So we have truly quite a lot of options. Say, Lucian, do you truly seek the greater good? Look at all you've done, all the people you've killed, all the horrors you've planted.
He hesitates, then he swallows his pride.
Here is the truth. I have killed thousands, perhaps millions, for the greater good. But I made a mistake. It was my use of death fog that opened the door to the God King. It upset the Veil and took the Seven by surprise. My one mistake meant all those sacrifices were for naught. Those sacrifices must have meaning. They must stop the Void once and for all.
So, what more is there to your plan?
I seek vengeance against the king and against the Seven.
Why?
There is more, but she hesitates to share it. Then she decides that she must.
I was a child when the God King tore my family apart. I was purged of source and left to rot in a putrid tomb. A child. It was hell. A hell I suffered for the sins of my father. He was the one that betrayed the God King. He was
It's
the
us.
one that told the Seven the secrets of the Veil.
It's our daughter.
The cruel joke of it all is that the same tomb that housed my tortured body is what sheltered me from the Void. Few Eternals escaped that fate. Myself, my mother, and Fane. Yes, Fane. You are my father.
Ah, the music.
Dallis gives you a steady look, cool and collected. This is your daughter. You are her father.
Fane had gods they'd be churning. Every act of horror Dallis committed, that was his daughter.
Everything I did to fix your mistake.
I mean, in my or in Fane's protection, it wasn't us who tore a hole into the veil.
Our people, every purged sorcerer, every dead magister, all those weeping families, they're on your head, father.
But you purged the sorcerers, and you mutilated them into gays and all the other stuff.
But now I have revenge. Revenge on the Seven and the God King. Revenge for what they took from me. My life. My people. My mother!
The hammer's voice falters and her coolness vanishes. Every crack and rasp betrays her grief. But her next words burn not with sadness, but anger.
Did you even look for me? Did you even look for her?
Dallis, control yourself. Our purpose transcends your personal wounds.
Yes. You are right.
Dallas's reasons weren't mine to question. All that ever mattered to me was peace. Peace for Rivellon. Peace for me, whatever the means. And now, we are on the precipice.
I don't buy it. I mean, I do believe that he thinks he's right. But just look at the means he took for his peace. And like this, just I'm right and people have to die for the right thing and I decide what the right thing is. It's a bit like, I don't know if you know Futurama, but like there's a quote from Bender, they have to learn our peaceful ways by force. It's kind of a bit like that. Yeah, I think 3 is quite fitting to what I mean. You really want peace. How do you think your brutal actions were meant to achieve peace?
While Dallis sought the Aetherin, I started draining the gods of their source.
Ah, makes sense that it was him.
Slurp, slurp, slurp.
One more word from you and I shall use the leash.
I had to hide from the gods. So I had the walls of this crypt equipped with tenebrium and protections put in place. It worked. Everyone, even the gods, thought me dead. As divine, I was created, empowered to stop the void. I was the avatar of the Seven, their strength and their weakness. My bond to them allowed me to drain them of their source.
And then it also makes sense that he wants people to pray for him, because then he gets their worshipper source too. Say, Redderman, I know you're the Source King enslaved and that your real name is Brachus Rex.
Maggot! I am no slave.
With a flick of her wrist, Dallis sends a jolt through Brachus's body. He writhes in pain.
Don't worry, he's well under control. He has made a fine servant. Isn't that right? Ingrate. I used him to find the Eteran. When we're done, I'll release him from his duty and free him from his pain. Until then...
I don't think that enslaving the Source King is a good idea. You know what? $50 that backfires.
Dallis punctuates her statement with another wrist flip. Brachus shudders, but his lips remain curled in a self-satisfied grimace.
Well, you know, maybe stealing the source of the Seven was what weakened them and then allowed the Godwoken to appear. Ever thought about that?
Yes, in a sense. When the death fog was unleashed, many elves died. With fewer elves to worship him, Tias and Dillius weakened. This gave the God King his first real foothold back in the world.
Yeah, great, so it's Lucian's fault.
To strengthen himself, he sent his Voidwoken, the remnants of my people, to hunt down the sorcerers seeking to reclaim their source.
The Voidwoken. Disgusting things. They ravaged the land they touched and infected the air they breathed. They were also an incredible stroke of luck. You see, blaming the sorcerers for Voidwoken made them easier to capture.
Such a kind soul.
The Eteran now contains almost all of the source the Seven stole. Soon, we will be able to heal the Veil.
The void shall be banished, and I, Lucian the Divine, shall return from the dead.
Ah.
A false divine, of course. I shall have no power, but the world will not know this. I shall demand peace, and we shall have it.
The plan is almost complete.
We have made so many sacrifices, Godwoken. All of us. Of ourselves and those we love. One last sacrifice is required. For the future of Rivellon, you must surrender your source.
Decide. Be the true hero and give up your source, or be forced to submit. Like a coward. Like a slave.
There is no other way. The source of the world is required to close the veil. All of the source. We only lack yours.
Yeah, I think the first one about, like, well, it turning us into silent monks, I think they know. I mean, that's what they did to so many sorcerers. Fane shakes his head. That's enough.
More than enough. Far more. I will suffer him to live no longer.
Ifan unsheaths his weapon. He stands by your side with every muscle tensed, like a coiled spring. Fire blazes in his eyes as he looks to you for support.
The wolf is hungry. He has waited a long, long time for this. Fane allows Ifan his vengeance and joins it.
Ifan nods his thanks. He turns away just as you see the emotion rising in his eyes. Then, the coiled spring snaps, and he pounces upon Lucian like savagery incarnate.
I think this is going to be a tough fight. I know I say that a lot. But well, it feels like the final fight. So go for it.